that I would consider myself a workplace strategist. Organizations are ready to embark on what healthy workplaces should be like. And first met Nick and Elise. They had this idea of creating C3 House. So the debrief of what they were thinking, and they didn't describe what a C3 House would be, but they gave me the idea, and by them talking about the organization, and in particular, the personalities that were coming through. But that first impression of listening to them and how they wanted people to come back to the office, but in a different setting. They understood that after this pandemic, that there would be a transformation on how people will come together in the future. The other thing that I have to tell you that I got from that first meeting or that first brief was that there was a certain elegance, an understanding of elegance in a home. And that triggered a lot of the selections that you have here, how to make an environment feel like home. But this is not just we tagged this as we were brainstorming. We called it urban chic. So the human-centric part of it was really important. A home is all about human living, and offices. The office that I came into the first time was pretty much a quote-unquote work environment. So you had your workspaces, you had your computers, and everybody had a desk, and there was some, meeting rooms, but it was very structured in that process of your business. We knew at the time that there was going to be a hybrid. People were going to come back to the office, but in a hybrid scenario. So the understanding of how are you going to meet and when are you going to meet, and in different methodologies of workspaces no longer had to be so structured in the way that it was before. The reason why we decided to divide the space into two, so C3 House, and the section where you do more focused work. So in other words, if you're coming in and you want to work and not have the buzz of an environment that's, happening, we divided the space in two, like you saw. So that was the reason. It was like, to also give the people the choice of how and when they're going to meet and work. When we selected, we made a pre-selection. We came together in a co-creation sort of workshop to choose the fabrics. So we did it together, and that's really important. When you're doing something together, when you're co-creating with the client, that means that you're really reaching out inside their vision and their mission. So I think was an important part of the project. I really do. I have to say that you were visionary. You were an inspiration to us, as much as I hope we were an inspiration to you, but you were an inspiration to us because you got us through this. This was very intimate because we were working with the owners of the organization. We were able to get that internal aspect that fed us. So in not all projects we have this very intimate possibility. If I have to compare it, it's like designing somebody's home more than designing somebody's office. What was beautiful about the process or about the underlying design was how Nick and Elise, it was all about people, about C3 people. You know, it was how to make them better, more comfortable. I thought it was extraordinary how both Nick and Elise were, ahead of the curve of what we're now starting to do for a lot of organizations. So I want to say that this is really dedicated to the people of C3 House as a family. When sort of the slogans were shared, the slogans are like, we don't mess around. We're hard workers. We're result driven. We're client relationship driven. But that whole element of the human centric part of it was introduced into this project. So I love it. I'm very, very happy. I hope everybody here is happy too, because that's...
We are.
All right, good.